Dear students, welcome to the lecture series on the topic engineering graphics. So today we are going to discuss about the applications of the auxiliary planes in the engineering graphics. I am Dr. IPS Ahuja, Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Punjabi University, Patiala. So in our earlier discussions, we have already understood that the two views of an object, that is front view and top view, projected on the principal planes, vertical plane and the horizontal plane respectively, they are sometimes not sufficient to convey all the information regarding an object. So the additional views, which are called the auxiliary views, they are therefore projected on the other planes known as auxiliary planes. So the auxiliary planes, they are used for different applications, and the different applications we discussed in the earlier lecture, they included determining the true length of an oblique line, determining the point view of a line, determining the edge view of a plane, shortest distance between point and a line, shortest distance between skew lines, and obtaining the true size and form of the oblique plane, and obtaining the auxiliary views and true shapes of the sections of the solid. And the auxiliary planes, they are very useful in finding solutions of problems in practical solid geometry. So in this particular lecture, we are going to discuss about the applications of the auxiliary views regarding obtaining the point view of the line, obtaining the edge view of a plane surface, and finally we are going to discuss about obtaining the true size and form of an oblique plane. So let us start with the discussion regarding how do we obtain the true size and form of an oblique plane. Now here you can see, here we have a triangular lamina which is inclined to both horizontal plane and the vertical plane, and since this triangular lamina happens to be inclined to both the horizontal plane as well as the vertical plane, so its projection on the vertical plane, that is the front view, similarly its projection on the horizontal plane, that is its top view, does not provide its true shape and its true size. So we need to develop special techniques through which we will be able to work out the true lengths of each of the edges of this particular triangle, that is AB, BC and CA, and we should be able to obtain the true size and true shape of this particular oblique triangular lamina. So we are going to make use of the auxiliary plane method to obtain the true shape of the triangular lamina, whose projections they are given below, and we are going to use two methods to work out the true shape of this particular triangular lamina. So the first method is by projecting one side as a point, and the second method is by projecting a horizontal line as a point. The second method is also called the shortcut method, because here this second method will require one step lesser than the first method. But let us first of all understand that how do we work out the true shape of this particular oblique lamina. So we can see that the coordinate projections of the lamina in the front view, that is A dash, B dash and C dash, they have been provided to us. Similarly, the coordinates of the plan projection of this lamina, that is points A, B and C, they are also available. Now we are going to make use of the auxiliary plane method to obtain the true shape of this particular triangular lamina. So for that purpose, you see, first of all we will be drawing the given projections of the lamina onto our drawing sheet. After having drawn the projections of the front view as well as the top view, then the next step is, I'll just give you the sequence that how we are going to proceed. So here you can see we have three edges, that is AB, BC and CA, that is A dash, B dash, B dash, C dash and C dash A dash, that is three lines are there in the front view. Similarly, there are three visible edges of this particular oblique lamina in the top view, that is AB, BC and CA. Now it is our choice that from which point we want to start. So the procedure will be as I am going to describe you. Step number 1, in the first step, out of these 2n number of edges, what are these 2n number of edges? Because this triangular lamina had 3 edges. So there are 3 edges which are projected in the front view. There are 3 edges which are projected in the top view. So the total number of projected edges both in the front view and top view will amount to 2n. So out of these 2n number of edges, we can pick up any one edge as per our choice. So either you can pick up any edge in the elevation, or you can pick up any one of these 3 edges in the top view. So whichever edge you want to pick up, we are going to draw an auxiliary plane parallel to that particular edge. So if you are picking up the edge, any of the edges in the front view, we are going to draw the auxiliary inclined plane parallel to that particular edge. Similarly, if you are going to pick up any one of the edges in the top view, we are going to draw an auxiliary vertical plane, that is AVP, parallel to that particular edge. And whichever edge we pick up, we'll draw one either AIP or AVP, that is auxiliary plane, parallel to that particular edge, and again draw the projections of the lamina onto that particular auxiliary plane. And once again we are going to get a triangular lamina projection made onto the first auxiliary plane that we have drawn. But there will be one special characteristic of that auxiliary plane projections which are obtained on the auxiliary plane, that is one edge to which we had drawn the auxiliary plane parallel to that particular edge will be appearing as the true length of the line. And once we obtain the true length of one of the edges of this particular lamina, then in the next step we are going to extend that particular true length of the projected lamina, and then once we extend that true length of the line, then we are going to draw another auxiliary plane perpendicular to the true length which has already been extended. And once we draw the projections on the second auxiliary plane, then we will find out that irrespective of the number of edges which used to be there are 3 edges, there may be 4 edges, there may be 10 edges in the original lamina, or there may be 100 edges, or there may be infinite number of edges onto this lamina. So once we draw the second auxiliary plane perpendicular to the true length which has been obtained in the step number 1, we will find that the view, that is the auxiliary view which will be obtained onto the second auxiliary plane, will become an edge view. Edge view means that is the entire lamina, irrespective of the number of edges, this will be converted to a straight line, that is the edge view. And once we are able to obtain the edge view of the lamina which might be having any number of edges, so next we are going to draw another auxiliary plane parallel to that edge view, and the projection, that is the auxiliary projections we are going to obtain on the third auxiliary plane will provide us the true shape of the lamina, because we had drawn the third auxiliary plane parallel to the edge view of the lamina. So in this case, the procedure of obtaining the true length or the true shape of the lamina is not limited to number of edges. There may be 3 edges, as you can see in this case. There can be 10 edges over there, there can be 100 edges, or there can be infinite number of edges. So in just 3 steps we will be able to obtain the true shape of the oblique lamina. And here the flexibility lies with us, that you can pick up any one of the edges of the plan, you can pick up any one of the edges of the elevation to which you want to draw a parallel auxiliary plane. So let us work out how do we draw the true shape of this particular oblique triangular lamina. So first of all, as I told you earlier, I am going to draw the given construction. So the given construction is whatever the coordinates of A dash, B dash and C dash are given, I am going to draw it onto my drawing sheet. Similarly, whatever coordinates of ends A, B and C of the triangle are given, so the projection of the lamina in the top view has been drawn. The projections of the lamina in the front view have been drawn. So as I told you earlier, the choice lies with you whether you can pick up this edge or this edge or this edge of the elevation, or whatever you want. You can pick up this edge AC, this edge AB or this edge BC of the plan. So here, since I have drawn it towards the topmost left corner of my sheet, so I have space available on the downstream side. So what I am going to do, having drawn the front view and the top view, I am going to draw an auxiliary vertical plane. So the first plane which I am going to draw, auxiliary plane which I am going to draw, x1 y1 will be my AVP. Had I drawn an auxiliary plane parallel to these ones, that is A dash, B dash or C dash, then I would have drawn AIP over there. So since I am going to draw the auxiliary plane parallel to the BC, that is the plan projection or for the line BC, so this becomes my AVP. Next step is, having drawn this AVP parallel to the end BC or the edge BC, now I want to draw three projections from points A, point B and point C. Now we have already discussed that the projections which are obtained on AVP, they will be auxiliary elevation. So the projections obtained on AVP, since they are auxiliary elevation, so the distances of the elevation from the XY reference line will be drawn onto this side. So the auxiliary elevation which will be drawn over here will be corresponding to the distances of the points A dash, B dash and C dash from the XY reference line. So the distance of A dash is how much? 50 millimeter. So I am going to mark this distance 50 millimeter, draw it on the locus line of the projection A. So just see, this is my projection line which is following point A. So this distance I have to mark as 50 millimeter. Similarly for B, please check this out. How much is the distance? Distance happens to be 10 millimeter. So I'll measure this distance equal to 10 millimeter. So corresponding to the locus line, corresponding to the point B, I'll mark 10 millimeter over here in front of the plane, that is above the plane I am going to draw. So this is B1 dash. Similarly for C dash, this distance happens to be 70 millimeter. And what is the 70 millimeter? This is 70 millimeter above my horizontal plane. So all these distances 50, 10 and 70, they are all above my horizontal plane, above XY line. So similarly I am going to draw 70 millimeter distance over here. So I have been able to obtain in the auxiliary elevation what? That is, I am able to obtain another triangular view which is not true length, which is not true shape, but it is again apparent shape of the oblique triangular lamina. But this triangular lamina has got one special characteristic. What is that special characteristic? The special characteristic is that since this auxiliary plane was drawn parallel to the edge BC, so in the auxiliary view, the B1 dash and C1 dash, so out of this total lamina projection which has been obtained, there is special characteristic for this particular line, that is B1 dash C1 dash, because BC was parallel to X1 Y1, therefore B1 dash C1 dash happens to be true length of the line. So one true length I have been able to obtain out of n number of edges which were there in the original lamina. So original lamina had 3 edges. Out of that, n minus 1 edges will be still apparent lengths, whereas one edge to which we had drawn an auxiliary plane parallel to, it will provide us the true length of that particular edge. So we can conclude over here that B1 dash and C1 dash happens to be true length. And as I told you earlier, in the second iteration I am going to extend this true length now you see I have extended this true length, and after extending this true length, and again another question arises, what should be the distance between this extension and this new auxiliary plane? So this distance should be kept as low as possible, and I am always telling you this distance should be approximately 10 millimeter. Similarly, people often ask how much should be this distance also. So this distance should also be minimal. So usually without measuring, we can keep this distance to around 10 millimeter. So you can keep it as low as 8 millimeter, or maximum should not exceed more than 10 or 12 millimeter. So this distance is as per your choice, but I'll tell you, if you keep this distance more, how it is going to adversely affect your drawing sheet management. That is, you will not be able to complete this problem within your drawing sheet. So please see, as I told you that once we draw first auxiliary plane parallel to any one of the edges, in the next view, whatever apparent shape is obtained, we get one special characteristic for one of the edges, because one of the edges will become true length. So now, since we had drawn x1, y1 parallel to BC, so B1 dash, C1 dash, which is obtained, the auxiliary view which is obtained after the first iteration, it will have B1 dash, C1 dash as the true length. Now in the second step, I am going to extend this true length, and after extending it, keeping a distance of around 1 centimeter on 10 millimeter, I will draw second auxiliary plane perpendicular to this true length extension over there. So this is the true length. I have extended the true length. Now I will draw a perpendicular over here, and this perpendicular will give me my second auxiliary plane. Now you see, my first projection was elevation, second projection is plan, third projection is elevation. Now my fourth projection will be the plan one. So it is always alternate: elevation, plan, elevation and plan. Now this is the second auxiliary plane which I have drawn perpendicular to the extended line of the true length which I had obtained in step number 1. After drawing these projections, now you can just draw projectors through this and projector through this particular point. So we are going to draw projectors through B1 dash and C1 dash. Similarly, projector through A1 dash will be drawn as shown over here. Now I have to draw now plan. So since first view was elevation, second was plan, third is elevation, fourth view is plan which I have to draw. So in order to draw plan over here, I have to take distances of this plan view from the intermediate auxiliary plane which we had drawn. Please check. This is my intermediate auxiliary plane. So now the distances of this plan view from this intermediate auxiliary plane will be drawn onto this particular side. And please check, now in this case, these distances which were originally provided to me, they have been made redundant. That is, they will not be used for my further constructions over here. Which distances will be used? Please see, the distance between the original picture and this auxiliary plane which I had drawn for the first iteration are being used to obtain the auxiliary plan in the fourth iteration. So over here, since I have shown lesser distance between the existing figure and my auxiliary plane, so the distances required over here will also be shorter. Had I drawn this auxiliary plane quite far away from the existing picture, so my distances required on this side would have increased over there. So this is the logic behind keeping minimum distance between the existing figure and the auxiliary plane. And now you see which distances I am going to draw. Please check. This is my locus line for the points B and C which were there in elevation, that is B1 dash and C1 dash. So whatever plan projection I have to draw onto this locus line, they will be corresponding to points B and point C. Let me check out the distance of point B and point C from the first auxiliary plane which was AVP. So please check, the distance of point B and point C from x1 y1, that is equal. This distance is equal. Why this is equal? Because BC used to be parallel to, it happened to be parallel to the auxiliary plane x1 y1. And how much is this distance? I don't know, because I did not measure this distance. So what I'll have to do, I'll pick up my compass or the divider, mark this distance using compass or a divider. Preferably we should use a divider over here. We should measure this distance using the divider, and onto the locus line of B1 dash and C1 dash, I will mark this distance ahead of the plane. So this distance is ahead of the plane. So I will mark this distance of B and C right here. Similarly, what is the distance of A dash? Now I'll mark this distance corresponding to locus of A from the x1 y1 line. So again, you see, I'll pick up my divider, keep the needles of the divider, one at this point, another one at this point. So measure the length of this distance of point A from the auxiliary plane x1 y1 on the locus line of A1 dash. Mark this distance from x2 y2 over here. Having worked out this, now you can please see what is this. This is the edge view of this lamina, and I told you earlier, in the second step, whatever true length we had obtained, we'll extend that true length, draw an auxiliary plane perpendicular to that true length, and in the next view, that is fourth construction we have drawn, we are going to obtain the edge view of the lamina irrespective of number of edges. You may have 3 edges over here, you may have 4 edges over here, you may have 20 edges over here, you may have 1 lakh number of edges over here, you may have infinite number of edges over here. So the solution is, you obtain true length of one of the edges, go perpendicular to it, whichever view is obtained next, that view will give you the edge view of the line. Obtaining edge view of the line means now the entire object has been reduced to a straight line, and we know that how the true length of a line is obtained, because even though it appears to us as a line, it is not a line, it is a lamina which appears to us as a straight line. So now we are going to go parallel to this. So once again, I am going to leave another 10 millimeter distance. This is my third auxiliary plane. So third, this was AVP, this is AIP, this is again AVP. So AVP, AIP and AVP. So once it is AVP, the projection obtained over this will be called auxiliary elevation. So since this is auxiliary elevation which is to be drawn, so the distances of elevation view will be required, and which distances? Not these one. Now the distances from the intermediate previous auxiliary plane will be required. So please see, this is my intermediate auxiliary plane which is there between this auxiliary elevation and this auxiliary plane. Now I want to draw the auxiliary elevation, and whatever auxiliary elevation I will obtain here, this will give me the true shape of this lamina. Reason? Because the lamina has been reduced to a straight line, that is the edge view. Once I go parallel to this edge view or the straight line view, I am going to get the true length or true shape of this particular line or the lamina. So now I will draw 2 projectors, one from B2 and C2, another one through A2. Now since this was elevation, this was plane, this was elevation, this was plane, here I will be drawing the elevation. If I have to draw the elevation, now the distances of the previous elevation from the second auxiliary plane will be required. So please check, from the second auxiliary plane, what are the distances of the elevation? Distance of C is this much. I will measure how much is this distance, I do not know. So who will know? My compass or my scale or my divider. So I'll measure this distance either using the scale or using the divider or using the compass. So best way is to record this distance is to use the divider. So I'll use divider to measure this distance, mark it over here onto the locus line of B and C. Similarly, I'll measure the distance of B from the second auxiliary plane again onto this locus line. I'll mark the distance of B over here. Similarly, I will measure the distance of A1 dash from the second auxiliary plane x2 y2, mark this distance from the third auxiliary plane. So after marking these distances, you can see distance of end C is this much, distance of end B, it is this much, this is end B, and distance of end A, A1 to x2 y2, this is equal to A3 dash to y3. So this is the third distance, and having marked all these three distances over here, now you join A3 dash, B3 dash and C3 dash, and this triangular lamina which is represented in the auxiliary elevation will give you the true shape of the lamina, because this auxiliary elevation has been obtained on the AVP which is drawn parallel to the edge view of the lamina. So here you can see it has taken us step 1, step 2 and step 3. 3 steps are required. 3 auxiliary planes they have to be drawn to arrive at the true shape of an oblique lamina. So the shortcut method we are going to discuss after this, which is by projecting a horizontal line as a point. So if we are using this second method, so rather than requiring 3 steps, we will be able to solve this problem in only 2 steps. So please see, this is our second method through which once again we are going to obtain the true shape of this particular lamina. So rest of the procedure will remain same, because I have already told you that any number of points could be there onto this lamina. So we are going to add one more point on this lamina in order to obtain the true length right here in this particular view only. So this method suggests that by projecting a horizontal line as a point. So please see, if I am drawing another line, straight line over here, please see this is A dash point is already there. This is my front view projection and this is my top view projection. So again I have 2 choices. One choice is from A dash I will be drawing one line which will be parallel to XY, and this line will end on this line B dash C dash at the point which will be named as D dash. So this is the 4th point I am going to introduce over here. If I draw A dash D dash straight line parallel to XY, what will happen? This will give me point D dash over here. And where does this point D dash lie? It lies on the line or the edge B dash C dash. So now one point I know D dash onto this line, and the special characteristic of this line is A dash D dash, that A dash D dash happens to be parallel to XY. If A dash D dash happens to be parallel to XY, I will bring this point down, D dash I will bring it down. Another point D will appear over here. Where it will appear? It will be appearing on the line or the edge BC. So I will be able to locate D point corresponding to this point D dash, and once I join this line AD, so the special characteristic of this line would be, since A dash D dash was parallel to XY, so AD would be the true length, and in a single step without drawing anything, I am able to obtain true length of any one of the edges onto the given whatever projections were available. Similarly, the vice versa is also true. The vice versa is, from A, I will be drawing a line AD intersecting the edge BC at this particular juncture, and the characteristic of this line AD is that AD happens to be parallel to XY. If AD happens to be parallel to XY, now I will extend this D point upwards to locate point D dash over here onto B dash C dash edge. And having obtained this D dash, now the special characteristic of A dash D dash is that A dash D dash is a true length, because AD was parallel to my XY line. So whatever A dash D dash I would have obtained over here, this would have become true length. So I will be extending true length, draw a plane perpendicular to it, so straight away the edge view will be obtained. So one step, that is drawing any auxiliary plane parallel to this and drawing another apparent shape of the lamina, is avoided over there. So please see, so we are going to have the shortcut method. So once again we are going to draw or project the front view elevation points for this lamina. Similarly, the top view points or the projections, they have been obtained. So no need to draw another plane parallel to this, obtain a projection where one of the edges would be true length. So that step we are going to avoid. How? Now please check. I am going to draw one straight line, A dash D dash, which happens to be parallel to XY. So since this line A dash D dash happens to be parallel to XY, and where does D dash lie? D dash lies on the edge B dash and C dash over here. So I am going to project D dash downwards. So once I project D dash downwards, so this point D dash will be projected onto the edge BC at this position. So having obtained this edge D, now AD line, you can see it is not parallel to XY. So AD line, which I have obtained on the given construction of the projections. Now the special characteristic of this line AD is that this AD is the true length of the line A dash D dash. So in the given figure, I am able to obtain the true length of one of the lines, which is again happens to be an imaginary line. And having obtained this true length, now the next step, I am going to step number 2 of the previous solution I am going to use over here. What was that? Whatever true length of the edge was obtained, I am going to extend that true length, and then I am going to draw an auxiliary plane which will be perpendicular to the true length which has been obtained in the previous view. So please check, the true length was AD. Why this was true length? Because A dash D dash line which we had drawn, and this point D dash was lying on the edge B dash C dash. So this was parallel to XY. Since A dash D dash happened to be parallel to XY, so AD, that is the corresponding point we had obtained. So AD was the true length which was obtained. So out of the various edges, we have been able to obtain true length of one of the edges of this particular triangular lamina. So we are going perpendicular to this true length, and now we are going to project all these points onto the first auxiliary plane, and let us see how these distances they have been obtained. Please check. Distance of B, this is 10 millimeter. So this is elevation, this is plan. So the auxiliary elevation will be drawn over here. So for auxiliary elevation, the distance of the elevation points from the intermediate XY plane will be calculated. So point B, 10 millimeter is the distance. So this is the locus of point B. So now 10 millimeter ahead of the plane I am going to measure. Similarly, end A, this distance is how much? Plus 50. This distance happens to be plus 50. Now where is the locus of A? Onto this, from here I am going to draw 50 millimeter. A1 dash is located. Similarly D. So please see, A dash D dash was parallel to XY. So whatever is the distance of A dash, same will be the distance of D dash. So A dash and D dash, they are located at 50 millimeter distance. Reason is A dash D dash happen to be parallel to the XY line. So where is the locus of D? Here lies the locus of D. So now on the locus of D, again I'll mark 50 millimeter. So A1 dash and D1 dash, they will both coincide at this particular point. Let us work out the coordinate of C dash. So please see, C dash, it is located 70 millimeter above the XY line. Now where is the locus of C? From here I am going to mark 70 millimeter. So this distance happens to be 70 millimeter. So this is 70, this is 50, this is 10. And the moment I join all these points, now you can see In the earlier figure we had 3 points. In this figure we have got 4 points because one artificial point has been generated over here to obtain the true length. But irrespective of number of edges, I am able to obtain the edge view of the lamina over here. So once I go perpendicular to a true length, the view obtained on the auxiliary plane will be an edge view. So this is the same phenomena which I explained to you earlier. Now next step, I will draw the second auxiliary plane once again, which will be located at a distance of approximately 8 to 12 millimeter, preferably 10 millimeter over here. So without measuring 10 millimeter, I am going to draw this plane over here. So the name of the second auxiliary plane, this is X2 Y2. So this was AVP, this is AIP. On AIP, the projections which will be drawn will be auxiliary plan. So otherwise also, this is elevation, this is plan, this is elevation. Next view will be drawn, will be plan. So since I have to draw auxiliary plan over here, so the distances of the plan will be required. And the distances, which plan will be there? It is A, B, C, D points, but these distances, they have become redundant because now the intermediate plane is not XY. The intermediate plane has changed from XY to X1, Y1, which was our AVP. So X1, Y1 is our intermediate plane for this plan. How much is this distance? I don't know. So I have to use again compass over here. I'll pick up my compass or a divider, measure this distance over here. So mark it onto the locus line of C. Please see. Mark it onto the locus line of C. So this distance of X2, Y2 and C2 dash, this distance is equal to distance between X1, Y1 and point C. Similarly, what is the distance of D? Distance of D is distance between X1, Y1 and this point D in the previous case. Now once again, we'll mark this distance from X2, Y2 onto this locus line of D. So this will be the distance of D. What is the distance of A? So this is the distance of point A. From X1, Y1, I will be measuring this distance, and from this X2, Y2, I'll mark this distance of A2 using the divider. Similarly, what is the distance of B? I'll measure this distance of X1, Y1 from B, and again I will mark this distance over here. So since this is the second iteration, you can see the numbering will be A2, B2, C2 and D2. And whatever shape is obtained, this shape will be called true shape. Why this is true shape? Because I had drawn my second auxiliary plane, which was my AIP, parallel to the edge view of the lamina. So irrespective of the number of edges, whatever view I obtained over here onto the auxiliary plane, this view will be called true shape of the lamina. So we can well observe over here that the true shape of the lamina is bigger than the front view or the top view of the lamina. So this is the general procedure for evaluating the true size and form of an oblique plane. Now another question you see we are going to pick up regarding the same, obtaining the true size and form of an oblique plane. So earlier on we were obtaining true size and form of a single plane, but you can see this is the canopy of a house. There is canopy of a roof. So in many places wherever there is huge snowfall or a huge downpour is there, where the rains are more, so there wherever the rainfalls are more, we are not having the straight roofs over there. In Shimla, in the hilly areas, we are having the slanting roofs over there, just like canopy. So these are the, you see the different sheets of the canopy: sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3 and sheet 4. So sheet 1 and 2 they are same, sheet 3 and 4 they are also same. So what my objective in this case is, the front view and the top view of the canopy of a roof, they are provided to us. The coordinates of the canopy, they are provided to us, Now there are two sheets which are required to prepare this canopy. One sheet is this one, please see, MNPS. Another one is NPQ. So these are two sheets which will be required to construct this canopy. So one sheet we have labeled as P, another sheet we have labeled as Q. So we want to determine the true shapes of both of these sheets. Just see, we are not determining the true shape of one of the lamina over here. So this is one triangular lamina, you can see, NPQ, and this is another trapezoidal lamina, MNPQPS. So let us see how we can use the auxiliary plane method to evaluate simultaneously the true shapes of the whatever laminas are there, that is lamina P and lamina Q. And one more thing you can see over here, we have been able to obtain corresponding to NPQ. You can see the front view gives us straight away the edge view of this particular whatever you see triangular lamina is there, which is shape Q or the surface Q. So for the surface Q, NPQ, so it is our good luck that we have been able to get the edge view of this straight away in the front view. So we need not draw a plane parallel to something to obtain true length or the true shape of one of the edges of the lamina over there. So let us see how we can go about evaluating the true shapes for the lamina P or the surface P and the surface Q over here. So please check. Step number 1, we have to draw the front view and the top view coordinates, whatever coordinates they are available with us. So the coordinates of the different points, they were available with us. So we have gone about drawing the basic front view data and the top view data onto our drawing sheet. Now as I told you earlier, if we look at these two surfaces, two things we need to remember. Please check. Two things we need to remember. One, surface P true shape is required. Surface Q true shape is required. Surface P is of the trapezoidal shape. Surface Q is of the triangular shape. Now, first thing is that for the surface Q, that is N, P and Q, I have got the front view where straight away the edge view is available. So once I obtain the edge view, I go parallel to the edge view and the true shape of the NPQ will be available right away here in first step. So please check. I have drawn, because this is my front view, I have drawn an auxiliary plane parallel to P dash, Q dash and N dash. So this auxiliary plane name will be AIP. This is auxiliary inclined plane, and any view which is obtained on AIP will be called auxiliary plan. Any view which is obtained on AIP will be called auxiliary plan. So let us see how many points are there. I am interested in M, N, P, S, and I am also interested in N, P, Q. So these are the main points in which I am interested. So let us draw the projections of the plan, auxiliary plan over here. So please see the distances. Distance of Q from XY is this one. I have plotted that. Distance of point P from XY is this much. Again, using divider, I can plot this point P1 over here. Similarly, distance of point R from XY is this much. So R is plotted. Distance of point S from XY is this much. So S is also plotted. Similarly, M and N, distance of N from XY, please check. Distance of N from XY is this much. So this distance has been plotted. Similarly, distance of point M, it is this much. Distance of point M from xy is this much. So this distance has been plotted over here. So having plotted, we are going to join the corresponding points. The moment we join the corresponding points, one thing I have obtained straight away is the true shape of the surface Q, that is edges N, P and Q. Please see N1, P1, Q1. So this shape which I have obtained is the true shape of the surface Q. Why? Because NPQ was one surface whose edge view was available over here. Whose edge view was available over here. So since edge view of NPQ is available, I have gone parallel to this. So in the auxiliary view, I will be able to get the true shape of the surface Q. So one part of this question is done. Now the second part is I have to obtain the true shape of the surface P, which involves M, N, P, S. And besides this, I also want to achieve or determine the angles between surface P and angle between surface Q. So angle between surface P and Q also I want to determine. If I want to determine angle between surface P and Q, please see which is the common edge. My common edge between surface P and surface Q is NP. So where is NP? NP is located over here. So once I have located NP, so this is, if this is true shape, so NP is also true length, N1 P1 is true length, N1 Q1 is also true length, and P1 Q1 is also true length, because this is a true shape. This triangle represents a true shape. Now I am going to focus upon N1 P1 because this is a common line. You can see this is a common line between the surfaces P and Q. So what I am going to do, please see, one true length I have identified in this, because this is common to MNPS. So out of this surface P, that is MNPS points, I have been able to obtain true length of one of the edges over here. So these two edges, they are not related to surface P. So that is why I did not draw perpendicular line, either perpendicular to this nor perpendicular to this line over here. So out of these three edges, I am focusing upon this edge NP, because this edge is common to the surface P, which is MNPS. So once I am going perpendicular to this, once again leave around 10 millimeter distance approximately, draw an auxiliary plane perpendicular to this surface. Draw an auxiliary plane perpendicular to this surface, and having drawn a perpendicular plane to this surface, that is true length, I will be able to get straight line corresponding to this, straight line corresponding to this surface. So now I am going to draw projections from all these points. Now you see, this was plan, this is elevation, this is plan, this view will be elevation. So if this is elevation, this was AIP, so this is AVP now. So this is AVP, auxiliary elevation I have to draw. Now in order to draw the auxiliary elevation, the distances of the elevation from the intermediate auxiliary plane need to be evaluated. So please check. This is my intermediate auxiliary plane, that is AIP. Now the distances of the points in the elevation, this distance, this distance, this distance, again this distance, these distances will be required to be drawn over here. So let us see. One by one we are going to pick up the distances. So please check. I will just refer to these ones. Q2 dash. I have drawn this distance. Why I have drawn this distance Q2 dash? Because this is the distance of Q. So I'll measure this distance of Q. On the Q locus line, I'll mark this distance. Similarly, I'll measure the distance of N. I will measure the distance of P. So P dash, Q dash and N dash, because NPQ was the edge view. So the distance of N dash, P dash and Q dash from the x1 y1 will be the same. So please check distance of q2 dash, distance of n2 dash, distance of p2 dash, they are all the same. So n2 dash, p2 dash and q2 dash, they will all have same distance from the xy line, because n dash, p dash, q dash was parallel to x1 y1. Next, m2 dash. So what is the distance of m dash over here from the intermediate auxiliary plane? I'll pick up my divider, mark this distance using the divider, put this distance onto the locus line of m. Just see, this is the locus line of m. So from here I'll mark this distance as m2 dash. Why? Because this distance was m dash in the previous elevation which I had drawn. So from the intermediate elevation view, I have to measure this distance. And finally r dash and s dash. So I'll measure this distance from the x1 y1, and let us see where r and s they will lie. So they will lie over here. So they will lie, s2 dash lies here. I have not drawn r dash because I don't want to draw the shape of this one. So I am interested in m, n, p, s. So please see m, n, p and s. So these 4 points I have drawn over here: m2 dash, n2 dash, p2 dash and s2 dash. Why? Because they correspond to the surface P, and these 3 points, they correspond to the surface Q. And once again you can see, because this is the edge view which is parallel to this plane, so the view obtained over here is true length. Similarly, this edge is parallel to x1 y1, so the view of the n dash, p dash, q dash obtained on AIP, that is the auxiliary plan, and n1, p1, q1 will be the true length. So this is true length from either side. Now having obtained the edge view of the MNPS over here, you can see MNPS has been obtained as an edge view, and then I can work out the angle between surface P and surface Q. So angle between surface P and Q has been evaluated to be 101 degree. And let us work out the true shape of the surface P, because for the surface P 4 points are involved: M, N, P, S. So these are the 4 points which are involved in surface P, which has been obtained in the form of an edge view over here. Now I will draw another auxiliary plane parallel to this edge view. Once I draw another auxiliary plane parallel to this edge view, I will draw perpendiculars from the 4 points over here. So this was plan, this is elevation, this is plan, this is elevation, next view will be plan. So now, since the next view is plan, that is auxiliary plan is to be drawn, I have to draw distances of the plan from the second auxiliary plane. So my second intermediate auxiliary plane is x2, y2. So please check, my second intermediate auxiliary plane is x2, y2. Now from here, I will measure the 4 distances. Which points? M, N, P and S. So please see, M, this distance, N, this distance, P, this distance, S, this distance. So these 4 distances I will measure, mark it onto the corresponding locus projector lines ahead of this particular plane, x3, y3. So let us do this. Please check. P3, I have marked this distance. How much is this distance? You can check. Distance of P1 from the second auxiliary plane, intermediate one, has been measured with the help of the compass or divider, has been marked over here. Similarly, N, distance of N is this much. From x2, y2, measure the distance of N1. From x3, y3, mark the distance as N3. Similarly, M, you can see M1 distance from x2, y2 is measured with the help of the divider, and on the locus line of M2 dash ahead of the plane x3, y3, mark the same distance. Similarly, S, So the distance of S1 from X2, Y2 is this much. So measure this distance, mark it onto the locus line of S2 dash ahead of the third auxiliary plane. And having marked all these 4 points, I have been able to obtain a trapezoidal shape which corresponds to the true shape of the surface P. You can see true shape of the surface P is greater than the projected image of the surface P. Similarly, true shape of the surface Q is bigger than the projected image of the surface Q. So the true shape of the surfaces P and Q have been determined and shown over here. The angles between the surfaces P and Q, they have also been determined in this particular case. So these are the applications of the auxiliary planes. That is, we are able to obtain true sizes and true forms of the oblique planes which are both inclined to horizontal plane and the vertical plane. So that is why the projections in the front view and the top view, they do not depict the true shapes and sizes of the surfaces. So we are not able to capture the true shapes of surfaces P and Q because they happen to be inclined to both HP and VP. So these we are able to obtain using the auxiliary plane method. So in our next lecture, we'll pick up few more applications of the auxiliary planes. So this is all for today. So I hope that through this discussion you might have learned about how do we evaluate the true shape of the oblique surfaces using the auxiliary plane method. So these were the applications of the auxiliary planes. So we'll continue with this in the next lecture deliberation. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.